Happy Friday, it's Tim Wild, Friday Ascension update, and it's a beautiful early spring morning here in southern England. The sun started to come up at 6:15, start to see a bit of daylight. The days are getting longer, they're getting warmer, and spring is on its way. And as well as the physical daylight, we've got a huge increase in the etheric light that we are receiving. I was talking about this last night in my Blue Rose workshop, the Pleiadian healing workshop, and for those of you who've been following me on Zoom and the workshops that I ever do on my own with Carolyn, with Diana, with David, in a lot of the circumstances they are geared towards increasing light, increasing velocity, increasing our kind of ability to provide a workload on a spiritual basis. But just occasionally, and last night was one of those circumstances, I get the nudge from the universe to just create a healing pool or like a healing group, because I think at the moment, and I always use myself as a bit of a litmus test. If I'm feeling a certain way, I can guarantee that other people are feeling a certain way. A lot of us on this pathway at the moment, we're all very interconnected. We've got similar but never the same challenges being presented to us, and we're all kind of running on the same gas. The same light that's coming in is our fuel, it's our momentum, it's the light codings that we all individually need. And this is as well as the circumstances that we are kind of participating or faced with in the kind of 3D circuits around us. And it occurred to me that it's been a year since all of it. We're coming towards the end of February, and it's been a full year since the global navel chakra was activated and we got really pushed forwards, and all of the circumstances that we've been experiencing for the past year have begun. Now what I'm seeing, and the reason why I organised like a healing Zoom was last night, is because I'm getting the overall impression that many of us are quite tired. Okay, and not just tired on a physical level, but I'm talking kind of quite exhausted on a soul level as well. And this alternates. Some days we can wake up and we feel absolutely marvelous. We feel like, we're already in 5D, our heads are in the clouds, we're grounded, everything's kind of moving along swimmingly, and then wallop, there is a what I call a flex in the field, or a release of density, or an obstacle, energetic obstacle that comes up that knocks us completely in the other direction. So we're kind of constantly we're flim-flamming or yo-yoing or snorkeling between these two kind of it's a very up and down pathway at the moment. And so my observation is that we are feeling a little bit fatigued, a little bit knackered on a soul level, and a lot of this is coming from having to deal with 3D circumstances. We talk about, some of us are lucky enough to share our lives with other people that are awake, but others on the pathway, we've not yet found or settled into the kind of like the higher vibration commune of our soul family. And that's where it gets really wearing for a lot of you out there. And I know this in my heart of hearts, that if there's you awake, holding the light, speaking the truth, doing the job that you've incarnated to do, but you're surrounded by people that are still asleep, and they are, in many cases, they're being quite oppositional, this can be really draining. It can be absolutely exhausting. So it's where we are at the moment. We're just about to launch into another very, very fast moving year. This next 6 months is going to be we've kind of reached the crest, or what I'd call the tip of the wave, just before it breaks, of the change energy. The reason why it's been so fast moving, why it's been so roller coaster, is because in order to provide change for a planet on the level that we are seeing, a huge amount of energy had to be applied to Earth, and in order to alchemize the old matrix, move us out of that and into one that we are creating as we're going along. In this coming August, the storm layer that you've heard me talking about previously is beginning to slow down. So this is the last 6 months of the pivotal push of energy. Everything that we are creating now, between now and August, everything that we're working for, everything that we're committing ourselves to, is of utmost importance. So I understand that many of you out there are feeling incredibly tired, incredibly challenged. It all might seem like it's a little bit too much, but hang in there, okay? Because we've had the most incredible results so far from what we're doing. It might not seem like it on an outside level. You might look at the people around you, you might look at the oppressive circumstances that are being kind of blah blahed by the news all the time, but trust me, it is working. I'm always told whenever I have a little niggle or a little doubt or a little kind of a stamp my feet moment, which we all do, that's what our guys are trained to deal with as well, I'm told to trust the plan, anchor in there, because where we are at the moment is we've reached critical mass on the awakening phase. Last year 2 billion extra souls were triggered into a state of awakening. Now in many circumstances, when somebody is shown the truth, when the fifth veil comes away from the third eye and all of the light and all of the knowledge and all of the extra sensories stream in, there's two ways that they tend to deal with it. The first one is shock wake up. These people wake up almost instantaneously, and it's like the hood is taken off. I've likened it before to going to a really cool party, spending the night there, having the most amazing time, then in the morning you kind of left stood in the middle of a field, someone takes a hood off your head and your world has changed. That's one way of kind of waking up and grasping what's going on at the moment. But the other one is probably one you're a lot more familiar with and see around you quite a lot, the cognitive dissonance, where people are now literally actively denying the truth of what they see. And it's most evident on social media. Now these are the energy drain. This is where it gets really exhausting for us, because a lot of the time we feel like it's our sole duty to kind of educate or wake these people up or assist them. What we need to do, or the way I always deal with this, is just stand back and let the energy take its course. Okay, you can plant seeds, you can drop truths, you speak your truth at all times, but as I've said previously, never take it upon yourself to try and shake people awake faster than they are, because believe me, the universe is doing that for us. The next 6 months, I think I spoke about this the last time. It is pivotal. Okay, the energy that is building at the moment it's reaching a pitch, a crescendo, and I'm noticing, and I know a lot of others are noticing as well, truths are starting to come out in the mainstream media from sources that we would never have we would have never, like, wow, okay, so they've changed their narrative. And I believe that there's two timelines almost running parallel with each other. There's one where the 3D and the 3D results are very much going in that direction, and there's also the one that we're existing in, that we're creating and as we're going along. So it's very fluid, it's very pliable. Everything that we add to it on a daily basis builds to it, so it's incredibly important. So I know you're feeling tired. I get my good days and I get my tired days, and I've always been very honest with everyone. If I'm challenged by something, or if something has caused me opposition, then I learn from it. That is how I manage to give the information out that I do, because it's usually 9 times out of 10 it will be a personal experience that I have navigated myself and that I have learned from. The other small percentage of it is just information that is dropped in and is given to me as a heads up in the general direction that we're going. So yeah, the yo-yo of tiredness, the roller coaster of ups and downs, they will continue. Okay, but the beautiful part about it is we've now got spring. Now got spring in our tails, or spring in our step, especially in the south of the UK. Bit chilly this morning, but the sun's out, birds are singing. And with more daylight comes more joy, more vitamin D, more kind of opportunities to go out and get fresh air. Stay grounded, get yourself out in nature, do the things that make your heart sing. Take time out of the process that we're experiencing at the moment. If you have found yourself kind of reaching maximum density, that you've suddenly you're tired, you can't take anymore, you just need to withdraw, do that. And I've always said, like, if you need to bail out and you need to kind of hand it over to the others, then do it. Because, you know, back in the day we might have kind of, because when we're less connected, you know, social media has brought us all together. When we were less connected, we kind of like had this mantle of responsibility on our own personal shoulders. We thought that literally we're the only ones that are out there. You know, as one steps back, two step forward at the moment. There's so many of us on this pathway, so many of us accepting responsibility for the job now. We've just got this huge surge of awakened souls on this planet who are ready and waiting and already actively involved in doing this task. So yeah, that's it. It's just I noticed particularly this week has been quite challenging energetically, and a lot of you kind of reflected that in the Zoom workshop, the Pleiadian Rose workshop last night. On Monday, obviously I live in the UK, you can probably tell by my accent if you haven't heard me before. On Monday we had further announcements for the lockdown, you know, the whole kind of palaver that's going on globally. And before that occurred, before the announcements, which a lot of people were kind of waiting for with trepidation, the information came to me, get ready with the violet flame, you know, basically douse your bodies and fields with the cosmic diamond violet flame, the lilac fire of source, the golden rainbow flame, whatever your flame of choice is, and make sure that there is a substantial quantity of it available for the collective. Because when these announcements are made, we've got a huge field of people in the UK whose livelihoods depend on what is being rolled out by the powers that be, say that in inverted commas. And so there is a huge field of frustration, there's a huge field of kind of righteous anger and worry and fear. And when these are triggered at a certain time collectively, that field flexes, it expands, you know, fields of energy expand, they contract, they alchemize, they get added to, they're like eye clouds, like pools. So there was this huge flex in the field on Monday night, particularly in the UK, around between 5 and 7 p.m. And although I'd been given the heads up, I didn't quite violet flame myself enough, and I felt it, I really did. And so a lot of you will be kind of dealing with this increase in this build-up, this pensiveness. This one thing about people who are awake but they're not acknowledging it is that their frustration is rising. Okay, a lot of the time we're talking on social media, you see it in comment threads, people acting irrationally, people being angry, people lashing out. A lot of this is because when you ignore the reality or the truth of something and you hold it inside, it turns into anger, it turns into rage, it turns into a negative emotion. So there's a lot of people lashing out at each other in the fields, especially on social media. You know, it's a good thing to disengage from social media from time to time. It can be incredibly supportive because it's the way that we all communicate with each other, it's the way that we receive the positive information, but it's also a really good place to get into a ding dong. As many of you will know, if you're in the truth speaking camp, then it can be a place that can really take your energy and knock you down a little. But so yeah, that's my Friday message today. It's take a step back and give yourself some R&R if you need it, because soul fatigue is at an all-time high. But this is the big but, we are now entering the final creationary push. The next 6 months are very, very important So take your little bit of time out and then get straight back in there again, because all hands on deck, all boots on the ground, everybody is absolutely needed. And like I've said previously, if you are struggling, if you are feeling that that you are under pressure, then call on the angels, call on the unicorns, call on the dragons, call on the ascended masters. You have a team of highly dedicated light souls all around you at all times, but they need permission to intervene with whatever you are experiencing, it be it a test, be it an initiation, be it something, a project that you are working on. Call for assistance, or maybe take a step back. You can always pick it up again a little bit later down the line when you've regenerated. So call on them. They are, that's something that I've been told is like, you know, we're surging forwards so hard at the moment that we almost, and we've taken this level of responsibility, we're almost forgetting to ask help from the souls in the light realms, who are basically gathered around this earth in quantities that have never been witnessed before, doing their own part, and they're here to help us. So yeah, I can hear a woodpecker over there. I think that's a nice addition to the morning. And yeah, I should think probably the next time I speak to you it will be March. I've got a couple of lovely workshops coming up in March. There's lots of goodies. On the 8th of March I am running a crystals and crystal skull workshop, because I'd like to take it back to basics a little bit. I know I talk about crystals and how to use them and everything, but this will be a PowerPoint hour just dedicated to how me personally work with my crystals, what they do, what the best way to communicate with them is, how to activate them, how to tune them into certain energies, and what they do for us on the ascension pathway. And also the enduring question of crystal skulls. Why crystal skulls? Because they've been with us since the, you know, Atlantean times, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's a crystal skull. Why a skull kind of thing? Because it's become a symbol of something negative in the last 2,000 years. So that's the 8th of March. And then on the 22nd of March, David Essery and myself are beginning the first of the 4-part series based on the beloved archangels. Okay, now that book was one that I've mentioned previously. It was written amazingly in the 1950s by Thomas Prince. Now what we're doing, we're pairing up with 2 archangels for each session, and we will be dedicating an hour and a half for each session to these 2 archangels, and there'll be a series of 4, one a month for the next 4 months starting in March. Now they're going to be tied in with David's amazing artwork as well, so they're going to be powerful, they're going to be light-hearted, and we're just going to be celebrating the presence of the archangels as well, because they are really moving forwards with their energetics, assisting us at the moment. And that's basically where my roots began. When I started this journey, I connected to the archangels, and they've been by my side ever since. So yeah, I hope you've all got something nice planned for the weekend. I've got lots to do here, children round, lots of things going on. But keep your light high, your frequency clear, your manifestation sharp. If you need to step out, just step out a little bit, recenter, revive. Got lots of tools on my website if you're feeling a little bit buffeted or a bit knocked around at the moment. Anyway, I'm sending you loads of love, and I'll be back on Monday with a meditation. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.